Hey, it's Jenny from Flutiversity here to tell you about my very favorite key on the entire flute, the thumb B flat key. So you probably learned in beginning band or wherever you learned how to play the flute, this fingering for B flat. The actual name of it is 1-on-1 B flat. Now, I assure to you, this is a fingering for B flat. You were not lied to. However, it is one of 3 fingerings for B flat, and I would choose that one last. So instead, I'm going to teach you to use your thumb B flat key, which will really speed up your technique, and it'll make everything so much easier for you. So first of all, to give it a shot, we're going to play 3 notes. Okay, you're going to play a G and an A and a B, just like you normally do. Don't change a thing. Okay, let's do quarter notes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, gorgeous. So when you did that, you put your thumb on this key, right? This long skinny key right here. That's where you normally put your thumb key, okay? Instead, this time, I want you to switch it over so it's sitting on this other key right over here, the one that kind of looks like a little teardrop or a droop, okay? You don't have to touch the big one back here. You just want to hit the side of your thumb on this key right here. And actually, it's fine if you touch them both and it's kind of in the middle. That's fine, okay? And we're going to play the same thing, G, A, B. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, a little bit different, but not a lot different. So that last note, instead of coming out as a B natural, it came out as a B flat, which is exactly what we wanted. This key, that key right over here, is your thumb B flat key. Now, an important thing to notice is that it left the rest of your notes alone. The G, totes normal. A, totally normal. It only changed the B flats and it left everything else alone. And when it did that, you didn't have to put down your pointer finger on your right hand. Now, that one thing, maybe it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, and I was like, I don't know, why should I switch? You should switch, and here's why. Imagine if you had to keep switching back and forth from G to B flat over and over again. First of all, can you hear how noisy that is? Ugh. And it's really clicky on your fingers, and the timing gets off the longer you do it. But instead, if you put your thumb on that B flat key, you can just lift up these 2 fingers. Okay, so much easier, and that's just the beginning. You guys, this will totally change your technique. It's really worth the time investing in learning how to use it this way. So this key back here, I call it a key because it is a key, but it's really more like a magic switch that puts your flute in B flat mode. It's going to make all of your B's flat, and it's going to leave everything else alone. There are only 2 notes that you cannot play with your thumb B flat key on, okay? Number 1 are B naturals, because duh, they're B naturals, and it's the B flat key. Okay, the second one is kind of a weird one. It's actually your high F sharp / G flat. And that's for kind of a weird acoustic reason. You don't need to know that now, but if you're curious, you can learn about it when we release our How the Flute Works practice plan. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so when do you use this magic B flat key? The answer is as much as possible. And the way you know how to do it is, first of all, if you see a B flat in the key signature, go ahead and assume that you can put your thumb over on this B flat key and use that instead of putting your pointer finger down. Okay, so it'll feel like a B natural, but it'll be a B flat because you've got your flute in B flat mode thanks to that new key. Yes, and that'll work until you get all the way up to 6 flats, okay? So really, it'll work for you most of the time. This is the fingering that I use for B flat almost all the time, and it's my favorite. I avoid that 1-on-1, that first fingering that we're taught. I use it last, like seriously, it's the worst. Okay, so if you are nervous about having to switch over to this and it feels like really tricky and maybe not worth all the trouble, I promise you that it is. I also learned this 1-on-1 B flat as my first B flat fingering, and I had no idea that there was another fingering for B flat, much less 2 other fingerings for B flat until I got into college, okay? So if you have learned that way, it's fine. It's not a big deal, but it is worth the switch. I promise. My technique improves so much. It's faster, it's easier, and it's less clunky. Like, it's so loud. Ugh, I just don't like it. Okay, so if you are looking to switch over, a great thing to practice is our practice plan in F major and D minor. The first day of this practice plan starts out with only 4 notes. So your F, G, A, and B flat. And it's specifically made so you can practice starting with your thumb in this B flat position, because there's a B flat in the key signature, okay? And you just play those 4 notes and you can practice not putting your pointer finger back down when you get to B flat. Okay? So that's a great place to start if you want to get used to using this thumb B flat key. Really, you should totally do it. It's the best key, and it is seriously my favorite key on all of the flute. I should really get a necklace of that one. Okay, give it a shot in our practice plan for F major and D minor, or in your band music, whatever you're practicing right now. Give it a shot and let me know how you like it. Happy practicing!